Hey, Steve, is it changing for Law and Order at all?
It is. We 2 years ago we started shooting digitally, so we don't use film anymore. We don't need to develop the film. When we started out, we take the digital information, put it on tape, still send it out to the West Coast, but we were also making another copy of that and holding on to it just because old ways die hard. You're so worried that something's going to happen that the way it used to when you were developing film. We realized pretty quickly that we didn't need to see these tapes piling up in our offices, and we stopped that practice. But I think at some point you make the further leap that, yeah, we're just going to stream the information. We're not going to have to put it on the tape and then send that through put it on an airplane and send it to LA, so that's how the Post is going to get their copies of it. At some point that'll happen. We're not there yet, but we're trying.
It sounds pretty good. Is there anyone in the audience who wants to give us a more futuristic view of Post distribution or marketing? No. Kim, is that enough oh wait, hold on one sec.
Yeah, some paper saving, do purchase orders digitally now instead of all those copies.
Oh yes, that's right. And somebody makes the point here, Kim, that a lot of the paper pieces are quickly becoming digital, from purchase orders to post logs and that kind of thing. Hold on one sec. Yes?
And the current issue, the new issue of Produce Fine has our articles about it, including the detailed explanation of the system.
Oh yeah. Hey Kim, are you familiar with the PIC system, or have you seen the new issue of the PGA, the green issue of the PGA magazine?
It happens at the same time.
I don't know what's up with that. Let's take a question in the room here. Yes, there.
I guess it's for Mary Jo. We talked about a lot of the recycling things. I was just curious, because one of the days of existence for me still on the smaller films, and films is what you do with the art department stuff at the end. I know we try to call these arts communities and the schools and try to donate, but still, where do you put it?
There's so much you can do. There's a lot you can do. You can build it green, material for the arts, Eva Radke, Film Biz Recycling. The other thing that has come up in dialogue recently in some of our other panels is to actually think about, instead of starting from the ground up and building and having something to get rid of, is to actually source out things that are reused, to reuse some things that have already existed. But there's so many things you can do. And if you go to pgagreen.org, there's on our vendor list, you'll find places that you can call that that you can drop things off at. It's really, there's no reason to put anything in a dumpster anymore.
Yes, in the back there. Do you have a question?
I just wanted to add a comment. We launched Broadway Goes Green in the theater.
Would you mind standing up, please?
Sure. John Oaken. I run a materials recovery facility in Brooklyn. We've done on-site distributions for reuse with groups like Rebuilder Source, with a variety of different cultural theatrical groups, where we would cover 90% of all materials, 30% for reuse. And we've actually gone in to sets and worked with Eva and Film Biz Recycling and Waste Match and spec'd out materials, loaded them out in ways so that the entire trailer loads went to, say, Rebuilder Source in the South Bronx for reuse. So this can be done. There's a considerable amount of work, and there has to be a certain amount of participation. It can even be done with Teamsters and union issues. But we've been able to overcome that, and we did it, with Broadway Goes Green and with theatrical green loadouts. So
that's great, thank you. So people in the room who are looking for that can come find you afterwards?
We have a market, of course, we have.
And certainly Eva right here in the beautiful pink jacket. Okay, thanks. Yes, sir, right here.
I had a question for Tom. What's the biodiesel trucks and generators you ran? What's the percentage of biodiesel that you were running?
I think we had 15.
And rhetorically, I asked, how come that wasn't higher?
Well, the higher the biodiesel, the more apt you're going to have problems, and you have more of a cleansing act. The more biodiesel, the more it's going to clean. And I didn't know what percentage or anything myself, so I didn't want to go the highest amount or a higher amount and have my generators go down. So I just picked a number that I thought. I talked to the guy at Tri-State, and I believe I made my decision based on what he said and advice he gave me.
And the reason I say required is because you can run generators on 100% biodiesel and reduce your carbon footprint by over 80%.
Yeah, you can, but not the generators that we have. The biodiesel has a corrosive effect on brass, on copper, on lead. It also has a detergent effect on any of the diesel that's in there. So you're gonna have some issues if you do 100%. I think I haven't done it, but this is what I have a couple of research articles that I read, and this is what they mentioned in that. They have new diesel engines out that have different types of plastic polymers that do not dissolve with bio, and aluminum is not affected by it. So I assume the engine is mostly aluminum parts. Stainless steel does not get affected by it. But right now, most of our trucks and our equipment has some copper or some other metals in it, and they don't want their products or their parts corroded. Rubber goes right away.
It can all be replaced.
Yeah, but it's hard on you if you have a gasket go on a set or something that's very expensive to replace.
Let me just ask one question, Mary Jo. You used B99, did you not, on one of your films?
For a very brief period of time. We tried it. We were in Florida. We used it for a handful of days, and we did not have a problem with it.
Of the various B blends that you used B20, B5.
From B5 to B90.
Did you have any trouble?
We had no trouble. No. I mean, the big thing is it is also, when I first started using biodiesel, it's a conversation with vendors. David Haddad here, he was really receptive and helpful in getting that started on the East Coast. I think that, it's very hard because different vendors have different pieces of equipment. A lot of equipment, at least in New York, there's refurbished engines. There's engines that have been around for a long time. And we're really, as producers, we're beholden to the vendor to let us know if we can actually use the biofuel, because it's really their call. I can't force a vendor to allow us to use it because they're protecting their equipment. So,
Unless there were vendors who are willing to burn.
yes,
B100.
and I would love to see more vendors who are willing to burn, a higher grade of biofuel. I also think that vendors are slowly changing over their generators. They're going to a Tier 4 generator as equipment is phasing out. We will have generators that can accept that vendors feel comfortable accepting a higher grade of biofuel.